Finish the story, Ben, Ruth insists. Don't do what you did the last time. What do you mean? I finished the story about the princess. Did she have an operation? If she didn't, how could the story have a proper ending? All right, I'll change the ending. She had an operation, but it happened 10 years later. What about the prince in the woods? Sally asks. Did he escape? Didn't he get back to his palace? How could he? Ruth asks. He was wounded, and the dogs probably went after him. Didn't the dogs recognize him? How could they? Says Ruth. He was a deer. But maybe after they smelled him, they knew he was the prince. After the deer have cleared the road and Ben's car is once more rolling down it, the conversation turns to a discussion of Frank and Ben's recent trip out west. I'd love to go across Canada myself someday, says Sally. Only instead of flying or taking the bus, I prefer to drive. Yes, definitely, says Ruth. No 35 hours on the bus for me. And as for flying, well, it's okay if you want to get somewhere in a hurry. But if you've got lots of time, why not enjoy the going as much as the arriving? I agree with you, Ben says. That's why I'm taking my time driving out to Blood River. At this point, Frank drives his car right alongside Ben's car on the road. The right window of Frank's car is open, and Bowser has his head stuck out of it. Can you pick it up for Christ's sake? He shouts to Ben. Ben immediately picks up speed. What a pushy guy, Ruth exclaims. No wonder he gets into fights. Ruth, be nice, Sally says. Well, it's true, isn't it? He got into 2 fights while he was out west. No, it's not true, Ben says. Ruth, I think you misunderstood me. It's true he got into a couple of scrapes, but he also managed to get out of them. And without showing the least trace of cowardice, Ben interjects, but only by using his head. Take the incident that happened in the big downtown cafeteria in Winnipeg, Sally says. Didn't he use his head to get out of that? He sure did, Ben says. And didn't he do the same when he was on the bus and got involved with those 3 troublemakers? Oh, it is even funny how he handled that, Ben laughs. So I think it's safe to say he doesn't look for trouble, but only ends it. Right on, says Ben approvingly. Well, I see that Frank has a fan club in this car, says Ruth. I don't deny that he has courage or that he's smart. I only think he has the sort of pushy personality that gets him into trouble. A few minutes later, Ruth gets another call on her cell. After she answers, a voice says, I love you, and then hangs up. Who was that? Sally asks. Before answering her sister, Ruth takes a glance through the back window of the car. Somebody who likes to play practical jokes. What did he say? Look, there's another scarecrow. I thought you said they weren't common, Ben. What did he say? Sally insists. He said, I love you. Really? So what about this Genevieve, Ben? Ruth asks. What kind of person is she? She's a fantastic person, Ben answers. Frank is head over heels in love with her.